Are you feeling frustrated in your journey to learn the Tongan language? Does it seem like you're not making any progress? You're probably making some common mistakes that most language learners fail to recognize. But fear not, because in this video we are going to tackle one of the biggest hurdles faced by Tongan language learners, the top 5 mistakes that could be holding you back. Number 1. Not having a plan. Many Tongan language learners dive into their studies without a clear plan of action. This lack of direction can lead to wasted time, inefficiency, and frustration. The consequences are a lack of direction, inefficient use of resources, difficulty measuring progress, procrastination, and inconsistent learning. Lack of direction. Without a plan, you might feel lost or unsure about what steps to take next in your language learning journey. This can result in wasted time and effort. When you feel lost or unsure about what to do, you might end up just quitting. Inefficient use of resources. Without a plan, you may not utilize language learning resources effectively. You might spend time on activities that don't contribute to your overall language goals. As a personal example, when I first started learning, I didn't know what resources were available. I found a dictionary in the local library and started by memorizing 200 words. Since I didn't learn any grammar or proper pronunciation, I was not able to use those 200 words in any meaningful way. If I had known from the beginning to start with grammar and learning pronunciation, then the effort I was putting in would have bared more fruit. Difficulty measuring progress. A well-defined plan provides benchmarks for progress. Without one, you might struggle to track your improvement and may become discouraged. If you don't have the feeling of making progress, it's very easy to lose motivation. Procrastination. It's much easier to procrastinate when there's no clear plan in place. Without deadlines or goals to work towards, you'll probably put off studying and practicing, which will hinder your progress. Inconsistent learning. A lack of structure can lead to inconsistent learning habits. You might study intensively for a short period and then abandon altogether your efforts for long stretches. This makes it more difficult to retain information. Take the time to create a structured learning plan that outlines your goals, study methods, and resources. Break down your goals into small, manageable tasks and set deadlines for each. Identify what resources you can learn from. Schedule regular study sessions and stick to them consistently. It's better to study for 10 minutes per day than it is to study for 60 minutes once per week. It's the same amount of time per week overall. The difference is that by studying every day, you are creating consistency, creating habits, and will have a much better chance of retaining what you learn. By having a clear plan in place, you'll stay focused, motivated, and on track towards language proficiency. Mistake number 2, translating directly from English. Many learners fall into the trap of translating directly from English to Tongan without considering the differences in grammar, sentence structure, and cultural context. This can result in awkward or incorrect sentences. For example, to translate the sentence "turn off the light" directly from English into Tongan, this would not make sense, as what is said in Tongan is "kill the light." "Tamate e mama." They don't say "turn off the light," so if you translated that directly from English into Tongan, you would be saying a sentence that isn't used in Tongan. Instead of relying solely on translation, focus on understanding the grammar and sentence structure of Tongan independently. Practice constructing sentences in Tongan from scratch rather than translating them from English. Immerse yourself in the language by listening to authentic Tongan conversation, reading Tongan texts, and engaging with native speakers. This will help you to develop a more intuitive understanding of the language and improve your ability to express yourself naturally. Mistake number 3. Relying solely on written material. Tongan is primarily an oral language, and relying solely on written material without practicing speaking and listening can impede fluency. The issue here is that your reading and writing skills may advance while your speaking and listening skills lag behind, resulting in imbalanced language proficiency. This can also lead to frustration. You might feel that you're progressing, you know how to read, you know how to write, but when it comes time to actually speaking or listening in conversation, you'll find that, you don't know what's being said and you're saying things the wrong way. The solution is to balance your language learning activities by incorporating speaking and listening practice alongside reading and writing. Practice speaking Tongan aloud, even if it's just repeating phrases or sentences from a textbook or audio recording. Listen to Tongan podcasts, radio broadcasts, or music to expose yourself to the rhythm and cadence of the language. You would be surprised how easy it is to memorize Tongan songs if you sing along with them. Seek out opportunities to converse with native speakers or language partners, someone else who wants to learn. That way you can both improve your listening comprehension and conversational skills. Mistake number 4, neglecting pronunciation. By failing to focus on correct pronunciation, this can lead to misunderstandings and difficulty communicating effectively in Tongan. A consequence is miscommunication. Poor pronunciation can lead to misunderstandings and hinder effective communication in Tongan. Another consequence is difficulty understanding native speakers. Inaccurate pronunciation may make it challenging to understand native speakers, especially if they speak quickly or use colloquial expressions. You may know what it is that you are trying to say, but if you are pronouncing it the incorrect way, you could be saying something completely wrong or completely different from what you intend to say. Pay close attention to Tongan pronunciation and practice speaking aloud on a regular basis to improve your accent and intonation. Use resources such as audio recordings, pronunciation guides, or videos to familiarize yourself with the sounds of the language. Record yourself speaking Tongan and compare it to native speakers to identify areas for improvement. Seek feedback from native speakers or language instructors to refine your pronunciation and ensure clear communication. The last mistake, mistake number 5, is being afraid of criticism. Some learners are afraid of being criticized for their mistakes, which can hinder their willingness to practice and learn from feedback. This can lead to a lack of confidence. The fear of criticism can erode your confidence and make you hesitant to speak or engage in language practice. Avoiding criticism prevents you from identifying and correcting mistakes, limiting your potential for growth and improvement. It can be difficult to get over the feelings of being shy, of being embarrassed, of worrying about what people might say. If you can have a shift in the way that you see it, to embrace feedback as an opportunity for growth rather than a judgment of your abilities, then you're putting the power in your own hands and you don't have any excuses that will prevent you from being in the best position possible to learn. Remember, making mistakes is a natural part of the learning process. And every mistake that you make is an opportunity to learn and improve. Seek out constructive feedback from language partners, tutors, or teachers and use it to refine your skills and build confidence in your abilities. By embracing criticism as a valuable tool for progress, you'll become a more confident and proficient Tongan language learner. There may always be people who make fun or criticize you, but you need to ask yourself, are you going to allow them to control what you want to do in life? Or are you going to do what you know you really want to do, and if anything, you can use it as a motivation? It's all about perspective. Remember, language learning is a journey, and it's okay to make mistakes along the way. What's important is that you learn from your mistakes and keep moving forward. With dedication, consistency, and a positive mindset, you can achieve your language learning goals and unlock exciting opportunities to connect with the Tongan culture and community. If you found this video helpful, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more language learning tips and resources. And don't forget to leave a comment below sharing your own language learning experiences. Where have you made mistakes? What are the mistakes that you make? And how do you learn from them?